Washington mornings on the Mall. 105.9 FM. And AM 630. WMAL.
8:06 on WMAL, where Washington comes to talk. At the bottom of this hour at 8:35, Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky joins us. I am Larry O'Connor alongside Brian Wilson.
And on the Newsmaker hotline right now, we have Congressman Steve King of Iowa, from the 4th District of Iowa. Congressman, good to have you with us. How are you today?
It's good to be back again. Thanks for having me on, and I'm doing fine.
All right, well, good. Look, I'm going to get right to this question, this burning question. Tom Harkin has been a longtime senator from the state of Iowa, announced he's not going to run for re-election. So where are you on running for that seat? I see some reporting that says that you're seriously considering it. Is that true?
Well, that is true. I'm in the decision-making process. When the news came in on Saturday, I saw a little message come through my email, and then another, and pretty soon a stream came through, and both my cell phones started to vibrate, and we've had a lot of communications going on since Saturday, and some meetings and a lot of meetings that I haven't gotten to yet that I need to have, but I'm in the decision-making process. I have to weigh, is the energy out there to drive this? It isn't something I can just necessarily pull. The energy needs to be there to drive it, and is it the right thing? And so, you know, any one of us that go through this, it is a great, big decision, and I often tell people it has to be right in my head, in my heart, and my gut, and we're not to that point yet. It's 50-50 on the needle right now.
All right, well, 50-50, and what I'm hearing a little Weasley talk here, and I know you're not a Weasley guy. So, I mean, look, seriously consider a lot of things during the day, but I mean, give me, you say 50-50. Is it really 50-50? Because I got a sense that you really want to do this.
Well, I've been thinking about it before Tom Harkin made that announcement, so that's be one of the indicators. But I hadn't put all the pieces together and looked to see what our team looks like. I will tell you that I could tell you I have to measure to see if we can raise the money, but I believe we can raise the money. From what I've seen in the last race and the support nationally, there's a good national network out there. There's a very supportive in my race against Christy Vilsack in one of the toughest races in the country.
Yeah.
So I think we can do that, but I want to make sure our machine will be there to work, and I want to make sure that the organizations out there are going to work in the same direction. So those communications need to take place before a decision can be made.
So that's mostly yes.
Well, I'm saying seriously, 50-50. I've not been back to Washington yet, and I get more plus advice than minus advice, but it isn't necessarily just a spreadsheet that I score. In the end, it's also a family decision.
All right, I tried.
Well, Representative King, we know that WMAL is your favorite radio station, and you've told me in the past that Breitbart News is your favorite website, so we could work out a simulcast. When you're ready to make the announcement, you come here, you could hit both of your favorite media outlets at the same time. All right, let's talk.
That sounds like a pretty good offer.
All right.
We'll deliberate over that one also, and it's 50-50.
50-50,
I'm sure.
50-50 on everything.
I got your 50-50.
I'm a coin tosser. I have a reputation for that, don't I?
Congressman King, there's so many important issues in the news right now. Let's hit immigration first. I read with great interest the statement that you put out this week, and it seems as though you're kind of on board with a lot of your future colleagues there in the Senate and the Gang of Eight proposals, but where do you draw the line here in terms of your faith and trust that the whatever immigration law the Congress comes up with and the President signs will in fact be enforced in good faith? Because we've been down this road before in 1986.
Well, first of all, the path to citizenship component, they put out 4 broad guideposts, and one of those, among it, was a path to citizenship. I can't go that route. They want to reward 11 to 20 or more million people that have broken the law with a path to citizenship. And I've defined amnesty, and they won't. I do. To grant amnesty is to pardon immigration lawbreakers and reward them with the objective of their crime, a pardon and a reward. It's more than the plainest definition of amnesty, but it's what they're talking about when they're dealing with immigration. I wanted to make the point that their guidelines are so broad that law enforcement, rule of law, border security people can also agree with that. But when you get down to the details, then it gets a lot harder. And I've made the point also that I have a series of principles that I think are important, and I think they would agree with that. But when it comes time to put a bill in place, they're not going to support the legislation I would advance. So that's where we are. You can get 8 people in a room, and they can discuss this and come out with a statement that there isn't disagreement on among the 8 of them. They have 52 more senators convinced and 218 House members a bill to write. I've seen it happen before. and I think we're going to have a big national debate, and it's going to pivot on the word amnesty and the rule of law again.
So, I mean, you said you don't want the reward and the pardon. So if anyone who was here illegally right now, before they were granted a path to citizenship, if they were fined or given some kind of punishment, would that make it easier for you to stomach a pathway to citizenship?
Well, first, Schumer's not going to go for punishment, but he might go for a fine. Well, a fine is the equivalent of selling citizenship. What price is citizenship? It should be precious, and so I think that's a wrong-headed way to go about this. Here's what we do need to secure our border. We agree on that. I'm serious about it. I don't know that they are. That nothing about their history tells me that they are. We need to shut off the jobs magnet. I'm serious about that. They may be, but I don't think so. If we could get those two things done, say eliminate sanctuary cities that are harboring people that are illegally here in the United States, and pass the ban on anchor babies that I also have, and pass official English, make English the official language, then
you might be something you could consider, right?
Well, it's still going to be a little while before we believe them on enforcement. So I think they have to go out and prove it. And it's kind of like when you hand the car keys to your 16-year-old son, and he goes out and he gets a speeding ticket, and he comes back with some liquor on his breath, and he didn't carry out the garbage. How long does he have to carry out the garbage before he gets the keys to the Lamborghini again?
All right, listen, on that point, some people have said, look, we're going to take 11 million people, put them on a pathway to citizenship, and about 80% of those, according to some studies, live at the poverty line, which means that a lot of people are going to become U.S. citizens. They're going to be, asking for benefits from the government, and that's going to be expensive. Can we afford immigration reform?
Well, I guess if we can continue to borrow money from the Chinese, we can afford anything our political whims might desire. But my answer, of course, is no. And I'd ask people, go to Heritage Foundation's website, take a look at Robert Rector's work. He's done the calculations on this, and he does calculations separate from whether people are here legally or not. And then those that are high school dropouts, for example, and there's a significant percentage that are, and also those that are here unlawfully and how much they tap into the public treasury. We have calculations on what this will cost, and the best ones are at the Heritage Foundation, done by Robert Rector. And he saved us from the debacle, I think, in 2006 and 2007 with good and solid data. And he's still the lead person in the country on that. But no, we can't afford it, and to give them automatic Obamacare to go along with it. And we have 80 different means-tested federal welfare programs in the United States. And I don't think the public begins to understand that. And the president has just unlawfully abolished welfare to work.
Representative Steve King, Republican from Iowa, is our guest. And listen, you come from Iowa, so we know you don't know a whole lot about football, but this weekend is...
Who haven't we beat?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go blue, baby. This weekend is the Super Bowl, so I've got to ask you, as a Republican in the House, are you backing Nancy Pelosi's team or Steny Hoyer's team?
It really kind of comes down to, is that Republican banner red or isn't it? Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun, but I don't really have a horse in that race. I'm just going to watch some good football myself.
At that. Can't bring himself to back either one. This was a bipartisan opportunity for you, Steve King, you divisive politician.
Well, we really.
But Larry, if I'm looking at running for the Senate, I have to build a reputation as an equivocator, and I appreciate your help this morning.
And I think we can all agree on that topic. He's 60-40 in favor of the run.
How about 50-50?
No,
look at that. I don't know.
Wiggled, though. You wiggled the needle this morning, Larry.
This is tough, though, because the Hawkeyes are a ground game and the Cyclones have an air game. So he's truly 50-50.
Yeah.
I represent Iowa State, and we are all Cyclones all the time. There's no equivocation there. Even the former president of the University of Iowa student body had to be a Cyclone fan when I made that announcement.
Right. Well, we're going to have to leave it right there. Congressman, always a pleasure to have you.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Come again, if you will. It's